Live. Okay, so first off, how is the main menu music?
A little low.
A little
and you
low?
are coming through very good.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see how I sound. I'm a little low.
Okay.
Rest of us on the Discord.
We are doing a sound test of people's voices on the Discord.
Yeah.
Vince, go ahead and say a sentence.
A sentence.
Good night, everybody.
Well, we're done here.
So, Hunter, how did that sound on the stream?
We're coming through audible. We're a little bit lower than you are.
Okay.
Oh, I'm much better now, actually.
Yeah, I raised you up a little bit in Discord. Just a smidge.
Yeah. Bograt
Yeah.
and Shiv are a little low.
I'm always going to be a little low.
Yeah.
Mike's hate me.
Yeah,
Do not actually accept the sound of Jim's voice.
Shiv is in fact just one of those EM recordings of ghosts. Okay.
I mean, I have to say, it goes a long way towards explaining the problems we had, which originally led to the SoundGoblin moniker, seeing as we had Shiv working the mic, and therefore weird shit happened with it.
Yeah. Poltergeists. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you for your patience, everyone. And to our viewers, welcome back to our Sunday stream of SoundGoblin Storytime with Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. I am, as always, your host, the Krampus.
I'm Bogart.
I'm Stu.
I'm
I'm
Vincent.
Hunter Green.
And I'm Vincent. I'm just going to introduce myself twice.
If you want
Constantly.
to go last, just wait to go last.
You get to choose whether to go last or whether to go after Shiv. You can't do both in this. We have Hunter with us.
All right.
I refuse. I'm going to do both.
So, when last we left, we had just
Note
finished...
to self, moving forward, mute Vince until it's time for him to introduce himself.
It's a SoundGoblin stream. We're not super high school level organized.
I'm a Discord admin. I can do that.
Anyway, so, when last we'd left, unfortunately, one of our schoolmates here, Chihiro, was murdered. And we had just finished up the investigation period and are ready to go into the actual class trial. However, before we begin the class trial, I have a warning that I would like to display for everyone involved.
Okay.
Sorry, I messed up the layers on this. There we go. Content warning. The following scenes contain non-Hifumi content that, while safe to show on Twitch, may contain content best described as problematic. While we cannot go into specifics due to spoilers, viewer discretion is still advised. Please remember, don't be a Hifumi. We are going to touch on a few different things in this trial and in the discussion about it that you could best describe as a yikes. Some of them are kind of innocent mistakes. Some of them are going to be talking about overt, unpleasant stuff. We will talk about them when we get to them. However, the same rules are in effect. Bograt is in charge of our bans on the Twitch stream, and he loves to use his authority. Don't give him a reason to.
Give me a fucking excuse to let loose this sword.
Yeah, you hear that, then no one watching us.
We got 4 viewers, theoretically.
Well, I mean,
How many of them
I'm
are
one
us?
them.
No
no.
one watching us.
Look, I'm rehearsing in case we ever actually get viewers.
Yeah, we have more people monitoring the chat that are in chat.
Look, I like to at least pretend that we have viewers.
We did just start.
Yep.
Mhm.
And hey, Danganronpa has brought in consistently new viewers for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So if somebody's watching the VOD later, they'll still see the warning.
Yeah.
And be of the understanding that we are not shitty people.
Yep.
We will, in fact, punish shitty people.
What, the curtains?
Not the curtains! Everything you see!
Very nice. Well,
Hunter, you are...
Or,
You have echo coming through.
Chills.
yeah.
I have no idea how to stop it. Let me lower the volume on the stream. Because I muted the stream that was coming from my
Yes.
other monitor.
Someone has echoing audio coming through.
It's Hunter that has echoing audio.
Okay.
It's in Discord. Yeah, in Discord's voice and video, you might want to adjust input sensitivity.
Let's reset skills. So last time we actually talked to Yasuhiro, and we got Lost in Thought, which increases the time limit for each phase. With the new mechanics they throw at us, I still haven't gotten dangerously close to losing time, but I can absolutely see how, like, next trial and beyond, we're gonna need that extra time being on the hard difficulty.
Is that better?
Well, it's
We'll have to wait until we actually get into the trial and have people, or have characters talking in order to check.
It doesn't.
I mean,
Well, it's not echoing
yeah,
anymore. So yes.
we were echoing even through.
Oh, okay.
Hunters,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that sounds better then. I'm not hearing it in mine, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and with that preparation finished, now we can actually start the class trial.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
And also... have my guide up.
Yep. Multiple bullets.
No, multiple bullets was a thing last time.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
Yeah, it's about choosing the correct bullet for the correct
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a
Q.
blunt instrument. But
Yeah.
what kind of
even
blunt
now it's
instrument
still
could it have
generally
been?
pretty easy.
Yeah.
I bet it was an iron
I,
pipe.
I assure you, eventually these actually get
That
complicated and
certainly
difficult
would make
to
for a
figure out.
powerful weapon.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, in this trial, we will see an expansion to 5 bullets.
Mm.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
Also, something that I figured out,
A head wound.
this is not just a case of clicking at the proper time to choose the correct sentence. You are actually targeting the specific part of the
Oh
screen.
yeah,
I bet it
yeah.
was
No,
an
you do
iron
actually
Yeah.
have to hit
Like
there.
that.
Interesting. That certainly would make for a powerful
Darn
weapon.
moving text.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is actually travel time on your truth bullet.
Note, however, that if you miss a shot, it does not count against you for the purposes of score.
Yeah, it is. You only lose score if you hit the wrong thing or with the wrong bullet.
It appears it was a...
You
According
don't
to the
actually
Monokuma
lose
file,
points for
what kind
just
of blunt
missing.
instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No, that's wrong.
You're an idiot, Shaggy.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? found at the scene of the crime?
Covered in blood.
It
And
was
the only
covered
thing
in
that we
blood,
found.
and there was nothing else
Covered
at
in
the
pink
scene that
paint.
could have caused that
Yep.
kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's
They're all
head
image
is
for all,
consistent
next to
with
blood
the
is actually
shape of
pink
the
paint.
dumbbell.
Now
That's
remember,
not
they're
paint,
just
that's
punk
what
as
the
hell.
fucking
They're
As far as I'm concerned,
they're
there's
just
no
punk as hell. Their
mistake
blood is
and no
neon. We've
risk
covered
allowed on
this.
one. You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
You said it like you don't even believe it.
Yeah.
New element has been added to non-stop debates. We're not going to hear the explanation because I will explain it. So, now our jurors here aren't going to shut up, and there's going to be extra stuff on the screen that can get in the way of a shot.
The culprit
Effectively,
is
they begin
Genocide
engaging
Jack.
crosstalk.
I'm sure of it.
Yes.
Case closed. As far as
So
I'm
when you shoot one of these, these what are called white noises, you get an extra 2 seconds on the clock.
Well, I mean, come on.
Which are ironically not white.
There's just no proof for it.
However, you can also silence the
Genocide
real statements,
I don't know who that is.
and if you silence the real statement, you are penalized 10 seconds. However, the real statements, at least at this point in the trial, can survive one silencing.
I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
And that's the main thing they're going to do with white noise, is they're going to throw it directly in front of where you need to shoot.
Yeah, they do
might
actively
know
try
one
and
reason
make you
he
hit
could
white
be
noise.
involved.
Yeah.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the
Again, though,
archive
if
in
you
the
hit
library.
white noise with a truth bullet, it doesn't detract from
Guess
your
it's some
score.
kind
It
of
just blocks the
confidential file
truth
the
bullet.
police put together about the Genocide
So what you're
Jack
saying is
case.
double tap.
No, you have to right-click to get rid of
That's
white
kinda
noise,
weird
and
as
then
shit,
left-click
isn't
to fire your truth
What was
bullets.
something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth, so let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be 2 defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No.
God
It's
damn
actually
it, Hifumi.
bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Also, something I found out, these spaces are randomized, so you can't just say, choose the second answer, or
In
something
every
like that.
Genocide Jack case, the
You have to
killer
choose the
suspends
correct
body in a
statement,
certain way.
no matter where it is.
Other than the killer,
That
the
seems like
only
a pain in the
people
ass
who
you're
know
playing
about
a
this are the
untranslated game.
higher-ups in the police department.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand,
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it?
Clearly, the culprit is a
There's only
high-level
one
police
logical
official.
answer I can
Or,
think
you know,
of.
before you knew about this.
It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way.
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes,
well, yeah, due to the laws of
It's so
plot contrivance, of course he is.
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember? killer is afraid of blood.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Okay, first content warning is coming up. So
the Japanese have a very different cultural feeling about mental illness than we do in the West.
It unfortunately means I have to drop a mental illness slur. At least in text form.
Now, mind you, part of this is also just due to language and space limitations, because in the actual Japanese, the characters that are input there roughly come out to dissociative personality disorder.
I think I read that
Yeah.
somewhere in the file too.
But asking somebody to play Hangman with that in English would be fucking torturous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
No, it's not.
It's
but...
not.
My gun!
Fine, he's not a super
You're
high school
talking
level
about how she
psychologist.
started
He's a
acting
super high school level asshole.
right?
Well, yeah, he's a CEO.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
Humans are just resources to him.
Hey, is that a dead body?
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
Or a million other psychological explanations for this, you know.
So when Toko
Yeah,
trapped
you know, like
herself in
maybe
her
she
room,
just kind of shut down
because
after
she
the
was
pass out,
scared of
and when
Genocide
she woke
Jack?
up, her phobia didn't trigger, which is like a thing that happens when you're fucking in shock.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I had to give a content warning for all this is because the game isn't going to go out of its way to prove Byakuya wrong.
No,
Yeah.
Byakuya is
The
absolutely
reason she
100%
locked
correct
herself in
these
her
terms
room
of this
wasn't
game.
to keep
Yeah.
other
It's
people
just
from
dumb.
getting in.
Granted, they very
It was
heavy-handedly,
to keep her other
like,
personality
hinted at
from
her
getting out.
being involved with Genocide Jack
What?
in the previous
Yeah.
thing, so you could very easily draw that
Afraid of the
conclusion
murderous
yourself.
fiend inside of her, of killing even more people.
How?
The translation is a bit more on the nose about it than the
I do
original
believe you
was, as I
misunderstood
recall.
her. What she's
The
trying
original
to
was
say
pretty
isn't,
blunt.
how can
Yeah.
you know all this?
I guess.
No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy
I will
fairy
give
tale.
credit to the voice actor for Byakuya. He nails being a shitlord.
Besides, You
Yep.
broke
Yeah.
your promise first. You
No,
said
the
that
voice
as
actor
long
makes
as
it
you were
real
here,
easy to hate
no matter
Byakuya.
what,
Yeah.
you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
I would like to note, by the way, the entire premise that Byakuya is arguing upon, that like, oh, only high-level police officials knew about,
the only reason
you know, the
promised.
how
crucifixion
many
thing and
times
blah blah
do I
blah.
have to tell you? I never said
Is
that.
entirely predicated on Byakuya's
But
belief
you
that he's the
weren't
only
able to
person
do
that can
it.
read in
You
this
just
entire
couldn't
fucking school.
resist that rush to
Yes.
from killing.
Seeing as that
Could
case
you?
file was literally just sitting in the library, which, granted, opened recently, but like Byakuya, other people could have gone to the library.
But your efforts were
Yeah.
useless.
Possible.
What a
Especially since it
disappointment.
seems to be some of the few, or one of the few places of entertainment in the whole place.
Yeah,
The opening act
and there's
is
like
nearly
comics
finished.
and shit in there.
All
like,
that's left is to hear
Yeah.
from the person in question directly.
The person you don't mean.
So you know those old Far Side comics with the trouble brewing, where the like the nursery next to the dingo farm. So I find it hilarious that Genocider Genocider Jill is right next to Hifumi in the trial.
Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
Yes, so our formal introduction to Genocide Jill.
What happened to you?
Genocider Kyo in the,
And what happened
it's
is a
Sio, actually. I looked it up.
personality.
Kyo?
Correct on that one.
One of them
Sio.
happens to be a
Sio.
serial killer.
Oh, Sio. Genocider Sio. My apologies.
So that was my bad. Originally I said it was Sio, but it
I
was actually...
I was also remembering it as Genocider Kyo.
Like they say, sound and murderous mind, sound and murderous
It is
body.
important to note, by the way, that that doesn't actually change
This
in
one
the
is so
Japanese at this
different
point.
from the one
There
we've
is
come
no,
to
like,
know.
Genocider Jill
Yes, well,
thing.
the
It is
Yeah.
literally just,
composed
we
of
still
a
refer to
front
them
and a
as
back,
Genocider Sio, even after the reveal that it's
Just
Toko.
like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
And has an incredibly long tongue.
I'm actually surprised considering this felt talking when you have the tongue sticking 3 inches out of her mouth.
It's impressive.
Talent. Part of being the ultimate genocidal maniac.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
You're idiots.
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just
That solves nothing.
Then it's not true? Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack.
Yeah,
If
you're
a
betting
secret
everyone's
like
life on
that
an
came to
assumption.
light,
Okay.
Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined.
See aformentioned thing about how
So
despite
she had
being
a
just
very clear
bullshitting out his
motive
ass
to never have
constantly,
that side of herself
but
exposed.
Byakuya is 100% correct in
Interesting.
almost
Very,
all of this,
very,
other than...
very interesting.
The most
Spoiler.
obvious part.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I hate to admit it.
spoilers.
Over it.
Genocider Sio is not the murderer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I cannot imagine
That's obvious.
anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre
It is an incredibly
fashion.
obvious red herring.
Yeah, so much like the last trial, we're not only having to find who the true killer is, we also have to cut through the class's bullshit before we can actually get down to the nitty-gritty of, you know, figuring out who the killer is. Because our class is a bunch of easily distracted lemmings.
Yes. In fairness, about half of them have done exactly no investigating on the subject, so they're basically they only have what they've seen at the trial.
You want to know what's...
Now, mind you, the half that have done no investigating probably wouldn't do much good if they had.
You want to know what's
Also true, but
hilarious?
still.
Hifumi is going to be integral to this investigation.
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up.
The best line.
You killed her.
Any thoughts on what might be the bullshit here?
The matches completely.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh,
Yep,
an
because
alibi, huh? Now
in
we're
case you don't
talking.
remember from
When you
last
compare
time
your
around,
past murders to this
they were
incident,
crucified, but they were
modus
pinned up
operandi
with
matches
scissors, not
completely.
tied up.
Yep.
Yep. Also, having the white noise to shoot does give you extra time, so it lets me show the conversations easier.
I think there's a slight difference between the
No, I was saying the
genocide
fact that you have
Jack
like
cases
7
and this
minutes
one.
on it, but...
Well, yeah. I'm gonna tell you, one of the bullet time debates in here, I screwed up 8 times, and I still had more than half of that time left.
I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things.
Also, it's Blue Plus, not
Imagine
Bloodlust.
you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Damn, now I want some Chef Boyardee.
Get used to it. She's gonna use that Italian restaurant metaphor for a while.
There are two clear
whole new
differences
meaning
between the
it seems from an
genocide
Italian
Jack
restaurant.
cases. I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
Very special scissors.
But Chihiro died
Because
from
I
a blow
don't
to the
imagine
head,
those
right?
weird little hook things
yes.
are part of any other scissors you would
Different
find.
from the other murders.
I don't think they ever
strange
actually
for
like
someone who
make
kills
point
the
of
same way
scissors
without
being
fail.
unique in any way.
No, they absolutely do, but it's about to be explained.
Well,
And
I
there's
mean,
more.
as far as like, oh, they're not like
That's right. In my recipe of
not
murder,
in the way you're
bloody
pointing
message
out.
is the
basically.
total.
Yeah.
Then the arrangement of the body.
They don't go
would
like,
be
oh, the
pesto
finger
sauce.
hooks on those scissors are weird. They're just like,
Please stop comparing killing people to cooking.
they just kind of pass by that. Although you are absolutely correct, those finger hooks would be hellaciously uncomfortable to use those things as actual scissors.
I just noticed
Yeah.
that every single pair of scissors they show in those pictures are the exact same shape.
Yep.
Which should make it very hard to find the murderer. I mean, you just find the person who ordered them in bulk online and figure out where that was
Some
shipped.
kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
Those are clearly custom
What
work.
is your point?
Well, in all the previous genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them.
Didn't they just go over the fact that it was the scissors used?
Specifically,
Oh no,
there's
it's
a razor-sharp
bringing up that there's a
scissors.
difference, and she just went off on Italian
And
restaurants.
guess what?
Yeah.
I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I
So
said,
she's
I'm
a scissorsmith.
professional, so naturally
Yes.
I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's 2 differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more
Well, yeah, the Whopper's right next to her.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at
I'm
who the victims
trying to remember.
were
I
in
think
each
she's called
genocide
something
Jack
like
case.
Makun or something like that.
There's a pattern there, just waiting
Japanese.
to be discovered.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's why he's just like, the fuck?
Figure that out. And
So
then
shouldn't he be
plain
called
as
Little
day
Mac this
why
time?
I couldn't have possibly
Oh, no,
killed
that'd be-
that little
that'd be
Wally
Mako.
girl.
Granted, we've only seen 2 of the victims of
Yeah.
Genocide Jill,
Yeah.
but we can figure out the pattern based on that. And the thing that's different here is that Chihiro was
Is
a
it
girl.
because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo, bullseye, right on the money.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the thing that they don't
In all
actually
the
point
genocide
out when you're
Jack
looking at the
cases,
case file,
all the victims have
but
something in
if you
common.
really were paying attention, you'd notice Genocide Jack only ever killed men.
Yeah. Granted, we see like 2 victims, so
Yeah,
that
exactly.
doesn't really establish a pattern.
You know, I find it interesting because they mentioned, like, in the actual case files, according to Byakuya, that the only things that were ever common about any of the murders was bloodlust written in their blood and how they were, pinned against the walls with the scissors and the crucifix thing. You would think they would find the trend of only men are getting killed.
Did you
The
see
police
earlier
are bad
comment about Yeah, did you see the earlier comment about Monokuma about the police don't know what the fuck that they're doing?
Yeah, these police are particularly bad at their job.
But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged man madam!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much
He's really trying to get a lot out of this Italian
that
wrestling.
line.
Yeah, it's got, yeah.
Reality only.
It's gonna keep coming. I think she makes like 3 more references to it through this trial.
Look, she's really just trying to hint to Byakuya where she wants to go on their first date.
It's a different matter entirely when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly, cur.
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
Yeah.
That's a point.
Does make some amount of sense. Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell? Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school? Any?
Hey, Timmy, how safe do you feel?
I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the
Of which you
school.
have several dozen pairs, apparently.
Are you sure about that?
Like I said, she makes them.
Yeah.
Clearly.
If you got an MO.
It's at this point I would like to point out the entry in our gifts guide for Toko Fukawa's panties, which are reinforced with wire and Kevlar and have scratch marks all over them. For some reason.
Yeah, it is important to note that I think it was mentioned before, but yeah, a lot of the underwear things have spoilers about character stuff, but you literally can't get them until after you beat the game once, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
The mode wherein you can actually get the underwear doesn't unlock until you have beaten the game.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal, and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Almost like someone was guiding us to this thing.
It's almost like someone else knew about the Genocide Jack case file. I wonder who that person could be.
Lakota, because he was told about it.
Byakuya.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records.
You also admitted that most
yeah,
of
I was gonna say, the obvious
right
thing would be to bring up that he had access to the room in here.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the
I'm
reason
not
he pushed
saying
the
he
theory of
didn't.
Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her. So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange. You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very
Jill,
strange.
can you just, just a little into his side,
What's so
a
strange
little,
about it?
as a favor?
Share with the rest of the class.
This one's very obvious.
Non-stop debate.
A new element
Yeah,
has been
no,
added to
element.
non-stop debates. Right. I forget what they're talking about here.
Truth flash.
Okay, right. They introduced this here even though we're not using it here. It's weird. But basically, sometimes we won't have the truth bullet that we need. So, what we need to do is we need to memorize a statement and then shoot it. Once we've memorized something, we can't switch to another truth bullet or we lose it.
It is effectively a temporary truth bullet.
Yes.
Ah.
Like I said,
Basically, it
though...
allows you to use one weak point to take out another weak point.
Oh,
Basically,
I'm
I
sorry.
don't have the actual bullet for this, so I'll grab your statement and use it to defeat your statement.
Exactly. Also, I was mistaken. I was at the wrong point in my guide. This is the part where we actually use it.
Yep.
I was gonna say it would make sense.
I
to use
assume they would use it at the point where they give it to you.
Yeah.
Game design is not always that perfect.
So yeah, they're gonna give us Monokuma file number 2, but Monokuma file number 2
But he was acting weird.
is not one we're gonna use.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it. That's a natural
Ifumi.
reaction for any guy.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So, of course, I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
Also, I'm real glad I got my mouse fixed, so it doesn't do the occasional double-click thing. Because left-clicking fires truth bullets. Hold and left-click memorizes a statement.
Ah. I've been having that issue recently myself.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity that
I apologize that we have to listen to Hifumi more than once. I will take responsibility for that.
I apologize that we have to listen to Hifumi once.
The victim was Chihiro.
No, that's wrong.
No, he's right. The victim was Chihiro.
But, yes...
I'll tell you what's so strange about that.
Yes, you are technically correct, but technically correct is not the best correct in this situation.
We couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
I mean, you've given us all the ammo to use against you, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this
Kyoko's decided she's had enough of this conversation.
The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
I do enjoy the general implications that if Kyoko actually felt like involving herself, literally every class trial would be about 15 seconds long.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
She literally goes into every class trial just being like, I'm gonna see if these other idiots can figure it out. If not, I guess I'll step in to make sure we don't all fucking die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Right, so that lamp thing.
The proof that Byakuya did it.
It's actually rope.
Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to
There we go.
explain it again?
Yep.
When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
Also,
Chihiro, it was some kind
control
of
just speeds up the
something very
trial.
fishy indeed about
It
that
also
rope.
increases the time, so you can't, like, you know, get some free time with it, but...
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
And I fell for the trap,
Somebody
so...
else must have had
Yeah.
it hidden
Damn you,
away
white
somewhere.
noise. You mediocre movie.
Alright, so a lot of fast forwarding.
I love that.
Yeah, they do also do the fast forward.
It does actually speed up the voice.
Very fishy indeed about that
Yeah,
rope.
it doesn't do it does a pitch adjustment effectively. So.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong.
Now, I'm also fairly certain you don't have to hit the weak part of the
Actually,
statement,
I'm
you just
pretty
have to
sure you
hit the
have seen it
statement.
before. Because
I
you see
believe you're correct.
that rope, or should I say?
I think. I always aim for the weak point anyway, but...
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once.
Could just also be that the hit point is very generous for it.
And the same extension cord that was in
Entirely
the library
possible.
all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's because you're dumb.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Doing it again. Being a dick.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
You say you killed Chihiro.
Except the
in
girls' locker room wasn't where the kill
right?
took place.
But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well,
It's impossible to move a body.
possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene?
The fuck you
That
said?
was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
Several,
I
actually.
believe I do.
Yep.
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
So, the following two questions are, in my opinion, a little
If there's
mean.
any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
There are two possible answers to this conversation, or to this question. At least logically, but there's only one that the game will accept as an actual answer right now. And that's the two locker room posters.
The proof
But
that
the
she
carpets
was
would also
killed
be one.
somewhere else is
Well, logically, yes.
poster
And
that's hanging
to the
in
game's
locker
credit,
room.
we're about to bring up the carpet as well.
Your proof is some posters?
But you could
poster
choose
in
the
the
carpet
girls'
there
locker
and
room
be
was-
wrong and get docked for it.
A picture of a big boobed supermodel.
I think it's an order
But
thing.
don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile,
Can someone please remove
the boys'
Dennis
locker
Jill
room
from the
had
room?
a
She's
poster
not
of
helping.
the super popular boy
Ah, no,
band
she's
Tornado.
fine. Can someone please remove
Again,
Hifumi from,
that doesn't
life?
really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that
It's a
mean
good
that
thing
the
I can
carpets
see
were
the images
switched
in
too?
your head.
Why would they do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
The only thing I can think of in headcanon on that is that every time we're showing evidence from that screen, we're actually, like, holding up our e-handbook and showing the picture to everyone.
Yeah, they just never actually established that, like, the e-handbook can take photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never canonically established that. I'm almost certain that's supposed to be the implication, but it's still just funny to be like,
I can
no,
certainly
it's...
follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into
Well,
the
that's
locker
easy.
rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
You check
I
my crystal
highly
ball.
doubt that.
Thank you, Celeste.
I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Actually, no. Yasuhiro's not pulling a stupid idea out of his ass on this one.
Oh, is he bringing up the spare ebooks?
Yeah, he's bringing up the thing in the main hall. As he calls it. I mean, granted, we already know about it, so it's not really a huge revelation.
Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah, I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
Do we need to shoot anything on this one? It sounds like that's pretty straightforward.
We do.
Like,
Yes,
I agree.
remember, Leon's handbook was broken.
Yeah, it would be broken ebook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten
Remember, we
into the
tried to
boys'
power it
locker
on,
room
and it wouldn't
somehow?
actually turn on.
She must have hacked
Yeah.
it. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
And I missed.
If she had that,
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I love the white noise coming from Jill.
Yes, you can actually tell a lot of times who's doing what white noise.
I'm sure that would have...
No, I don't... She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Yeah, it actually is a lot of credit to the
What thing?
makers of this game.
I'm
that
talking about
all the
Leon's handbook,
characters
of course.
have very distinct personalities. So a lot of times, like I said, the actual
No, I don't think
white
Chihiro
noise
used
is
Leon's
pretty
handbook.
clear who it's coming from.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst. You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
You hit it. We are all going to die.
Hold on a second.
And again, the actual person in the room who's doing work.
I think you're on the right track.
I mean, granted, we've been pretty good about this so far. Kyoko only had to intrude like one time to get things back on track.
That's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry.
Field trip.
This'll make the whole trial
Yes,
more
actually,
We'll be
field
back,
trip.
we promise.
I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Now,
That's all you had to
what
say?
is it you want to show us? It better not be boring, or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
And we are immediately back to regular visual novel mode.
Yep.
We only get fancy class trial mode when we're in the fancy class trial. This is a recess.
I didn't know you could just ask for a recess.
Apparently you can if you make Monokuma interested enough.
The girls' locker room?
Monokuma, can we have a recess? I'll give you a handy.
Okay. This place top to bottom.
That makes
What
me
are you
very
trying to
excited.
pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
And actually do it this time.
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like, using
Not you,
our
Hifumi.
hands?
Hifumi, leave
No, wait.
the school.
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
Do you trust any of the boys here?
I think
I
Chihiro
was
would rather
gonna
have
say,
a
it's like,
girl
so you
examine
think it's
her.
fine for a boy to be
So
pawing up a
just
dead
leave
girl's
this to
body?
me.
Yeah, that's not messed up at all.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
not possible. It's not possible.
I do really like her super pissed off face.
Went Super Saiyan for a second.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
Don't be gross, I'll fucking end you.
So she was actually a he. Interesting.
Yeah, begin all of the second part of problematic stuff.
Took it for me a moment to process that.
Yep.
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
I will say, in fairness to this game, while I not necessarily believe for a second that the writers aren't like this too, because again, Japan has different cultural norms. Teenagers would be gross about this, so you know.
Yeah.
When they act fucking gross about this, it's perfectly well within character for pretty much all of them.
Huh? Interesting.
At least all the ones who do. To be fair, not every one of the characters is going to be gross about this, but...
No, quite a number of them are just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was unusual. We did not suspect that.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy.
Genocide shows how very disappointed herself.
Yes. Well, I don't know his reason
Also,
for
Kyoko
hiding
knew this
it,
for
but
quite
the
some
fact
time and
is,
literally told us to
Chihiro was
damn the
not a
body,
girl,
but we didn't.
but a boy.
Yep. Because we
Again,
were too busy
like I
listening to
said-
Byakuya instead.
If Kyoko actually thought to do things, all these would be
Because the
solved in like
victim
5
was male,
seconds.
he
Yep.
would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved
Noting,
to the girls'
in
locker
that
room.
regard, by the way, that at
And the
least as
killer
far
could
as the
have
game
easily
ever
used
goes
Sayaka or
into,
Junko's handbook to
Chihiro
get
was
into
not
the girls'
trans.
locker room.
He was just a cross-dresser.
Yes.
Correct.
Even
and it
in
does get explained why.
even in
So
supplemental material.
As
still
they're
don't
doing this,
understand
they
the
are not
motive for moving the
misgendering him.
body,
He did
but
identify
yes,
as
that
male.
does
He just
seem
never really
plausible.
brought it up because,
Well,
for being real,
I
how
must
often
admit,
in normal
I did
conversation
find
with
it
other people
rather
do you just
odd.
go up and be like,
I knew
"Hi,
he felt
I'm a
little
guy."
Off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
That actually cuts off what one of my rants was going to be.
So now
Yeah, like even in
everything
later
has
stuff
been
when we
connected.
talk about
All
Chihiro,
the
later
mysteries
games
have
and later
finally
supplemental
become
materials that
clear.
come out,
Okay, well,
they
you
never
did
say
it
that he's
clearer,
actually
whatever.
transsexual.
We still think you're the killer, remember?
Transgender.
Transgender, my apologies on that one.
Very interesting.
Or transsexual, but
This
not
has
probably
become
applies here.
very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little
But yeah,
world.
What about you, Makoto?
it's
After everything
possible
we've
that the
learned,
character
do you still think
is, but
Byakuya's
again,
the
it's
killer?
never anything that is
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the
established
one that made
one way or
Chihiro's
another.
death look like Genocide Jack
So-
did him. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little
I
too
mean, he's gonna die too if we're wrong.
overt.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder.
Yeah, it's kind of the question hanging above this whole trial is why the fuck is Byakuya doing any of this?
And Byakuya,
Yep.
when you found
It's a
out the
question
murder
that does
took place
have
in the
an
boys' locker room,
answer,
it seemed to rattle you.
but we're
And
not
that's
going
my
to find
other
out that
rant.
answer
And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy.
until later on in
If you
the
really
trial.
were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
You know, just because.
Are you fucking with us right now?
I'm...
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
That's the most character-breaking thing. I cannot believe he would censor himself and not just cuss back.
Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
They're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
Ah, he did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
No.
No.
Of course
No, he
I
doesn't.
do. What am I?
It's on
ants or
remote control.
something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Chihiro murdered Chihiro. Wait a second.
I got it!
Pretty safe to assume the killer was a guy since it happened in the guy's locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
This seems really familiar.
Clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure
That's-
if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Yeah.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over.
Misclicked.
You want to know who saw
Yeah.
the victim? The killer. And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man. Game over.
They had to do that at some point with his voice.
God damn it, Hudson. Pull it together.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
Yep, as we remember from last time,
I'm sure if
Celeste
someone saw the killer, they would have said
Chihiro
something by
getting
now.
the tracksuit.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over.
Yep.
You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
Ooh, threaded the needle on that white noise, but...
Yeah.
I mean, even if you had
I
nailed
believe
the white
someone else
noise, oh
did
no,
see
you only
the
had
victim
another
before he
6
was
minutes.
murdered.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Celeste?
Now
Like,
that you
those
mention
white
that,
noises are not bad. We're coming up on the white noise that gets really
Oh,
tricky and
but
forced
I
me to use
suppose
focus.
Only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you
why the
have no
mechanic
idea.
exists.
Uh-huh.
did you?
Yeah.
That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd. Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had
Clearly
the
it was
equipment,
Hifumi,
we
because he threw it
wouldn't
in
know
the
how to
trash.
use it.
As
It was
was
Hifumi,
noted,
because
the
he is
evidence
trash.
is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
I woke up and somebody was stuffing a track
But we can
jacket in my
make certain
mouth.
Inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say.
I mean, I ate it, but it was very uncomfortable.
Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket? The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags
There were
in there are
8
the
heads
same,
in it, but
so
I didn't think that was strange.
I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took. First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
Bullshit.
This exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right?
So,
What he just said without even realizing it?
Yeah. You guys catch that one?
Yep.
Jim, Vince,
First
you
of all, we know
catch
where
that?
Chihiro was heading. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Nobody ever said anything about the tracksuit being blue.
Correct. We never talked about a color.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
I choose to believe this is Makoto doing a fake Celeste voice. I saw him stuffing a tracksuit into a duffel bag, and then I assumed he had it off the
said
exercise.
anything about
I do
the
not
jacket's
sound like that.
color.
Yes, you do.
Why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Makoto, get out of my Gambletorium!
Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue?
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
No one else came to ask.
Mondo,
Kind of
how
irresponsible.
did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
Never found the tracksuit.
No, that can't
No.
be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry?
Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Ah, scissors.
Genocide Jill's really bad with names,
Just by
okay?
chance. I just happened to see it
No,
last
again,
night.
it's a nicknames thing. In Japanese,
He walked
I
past
believe
me,
she refers
and he
to
was
Chihiro's
carrying the
keychain.
tracksuit in his hands.
Aw.
No, that can't be it either. According to
Basically,
Celeste's testimony...
Genocider Show is very informal to offset the difference because Coco is very formal and rigid with how she speaks.
Makes sense.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the back. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
So, Hunter, I have to apologize to you. I threw you off the scent of something that you said in the last video. And that is the thing that revealed Kyoko's suspicions was the way he talked.
There was
Yeah,
a certain
specifically
turning
Mondo
point
saying,
that tipped me
dude.
off.
Yep.
It was actually an
Maybe you
intentional thing.
didn't
Now, that
notice
doesn't
it,
discount
Mondo,
what
but
we
you
said
tend
about
to
it.
refer
No,
to
I
men
refer to
and
everyone
women
as dudes.
differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're Californians.
You
We're
only call
Japanese.
guys
Yeah, we're
dudes.
for Californians,
girls,
dude is
it's
just
chick.
dude.
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him
Dude
as
is a
dude.
generic,
Once I
non-gender
picked
term
up
for
on that,
people if
it
you're from
occurred to me
California.
that Mondo knew something
Not necessarily
we
even
didn't.
people. Sometimes it's things.
Things, yeah. Things, animals, whatever.
Ideas, words, non-words.
Shrubbery.
Breakfast
No,
cereals.
I'm not the frightful one.
Fruit bats.
Not nearly as frightful
Skip ahead a
as
few
someone
pages, Vicar.
capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth.
After they come out.
What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well,
Yeah.
this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Remember how I said that Hifumi is actually important to this investigation? There wasn't a joke.
Really? What kind of
Also, it's
evidence?
an opportunity to throw in more Kendaichi case files.
Actually,
Yep.
you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine,
Yes.
man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
This is a weird question for a couple of reasons. Or question, or weird assumption for Makoto to make, I should say, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's what I was hoping, but it's busted. It won't even turn on.
We won't figure out why
I
until a little bit
imagine
here.
The culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
This one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
I got it! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then...
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well.
Some solid reasoning
I
from
have a
her.
weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break! I flippin'
All
knew
right,
it!
everyone threw them in the oven.
You knew it? Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna. The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed...
I love that
directly
Mr.
onto your
Monokuma's
skin,
lesson has popped up in the background while he's
definitely
explaining
get
this.
fried. That layer
Of
of
course.
air would get blown
Well, we're
away.
learning here, aren't we?
That's why you may feel a burning
I
when
believe
you
this is
move
actually
around.
true.
So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find
Or
out?
two morons
Monokuma
recently,
said he
you
didn't
know,
tell anyone, right?
spent the night over in a sauna.
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Oh, that's right. One of them actually stripped for it, so it was
Yeah.
only one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only one moron.
Only one moron. That moron.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
And that would explain why Taka wouldn't have figured that out and brought that
Mondo
up.
and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago. Remember? And for
That
the
you were
contest,
forced to watch.
Mondo just so happened
Yes.
to keep his school uniform on.
They also lit themselves on fire for some reason?
He also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
You want the proof? You can't handle the proof.
Okay. Welcome to the hardest shot you have to take in this trial.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly.
I'm pretty sure that's not right, but okay.
I would like to note that Mondo punched us into unconsciousness when we were first here.
Yeah.
One of the many knockouts that we suffered on the first
Test
day.
Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo,
I mean, we have little proof that Chihiro wouldn't kill a mosquito.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook
But,
is actually broken,
Pretty sure
then
Mondo
that
can't make that
proves
claim.
that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Nope. The problem is our focus gauge is very low, so we only get like a second of slowdown time, and you have to get rid of 2 white noises to be able to properly shoot that one. Maybe if you've got lightning quick reflexes, you can hit 1 white noise and then do a shot underneath the second.
Yeah. Does the white noise cover the entirety of the line, though? Could you shoot maybe on one of the sides of it?
These 2 particular ones, it covers basically everything.
Yeah, because they come from cross angles.
In other words,
They intentionally
if
lined them
Mondo's
up in
handbook
such a way to be
proves
that you
that
have
what
to deal with the
Makoto
white
said-
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
that line.
Yeah, see, even
Oh,
that
yeah.
one blocks.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
I got down to 4 minutes on this one the first time I tried it. Granted, that still leaves you 4 minutes to do it. It's more a matter of getting it right and getting it right in the time limit.
Let's test Makoto. If what he
Yeah.
said you broke your own, in other words, if then that proves that what Makoto said is
Well, my goddamn handbook works
So what
just
you gotta do is
fine.
gotta wait for here, get rid of these two, then fire the bullet.
No, that's wrong.
And that is pretty much putting you at damn near the last second for actually getting that.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
We've been over this.
No.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit, but no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on, tell him he's wrong. You are wrong. You have to be wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning?
Other mini games.
That way,
Yep.
everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
So, this particular closing argument is much meaner than the last one, because there's a bunch of circles that look very close to each other, like these two posters, but they represent different things. So, we'll start from the beginning here. Luckily, if you look at the circle and click on it, you just basically have to match up everything that's in the statement with what's in the circle, and you're good to go. Also, I did find out, if you're incorrect and you start the dissection of what went down, it will stop at the point you're incorrect and say, oh, wait, I'm wrong about this. I have to go back and revise my statement. Then you choose the correct one, or another one, and it starts back up at the manga page that you stopped at. So, this one's a little tricky, though, because this is the murder weapon, but that's not the circle you need to use. You specifically need to use this one.
Oh, makes sense.
The yeah.
Yeah. So there are 3 of these circles that involve the poster. That's the one you need to use there. Person was struck. You specifically need to use the one of him taking down the poster here. Girls' locker room. Keep in mind, we do still have a very generous time for this.
Yeah.
Did I use the wrong one?
Well, I don't think so.
Was it one for that?
Oh, yeah. Yep. The killer took something else from the crime scene was the clue we got. And that was him putting up the poster in the other room. Well, then here comes this asshole.
Buckler thing is just because, I guess.
I can't guarantee that his reason is a good one, but he does give a reason for why he's doing all this.
The killer is you! First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime.
Which isn't against the rules.
She made her way to the locker room.
Yeah.
Specifically, the boys' locker room.
Only the cafeteria.
But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room? Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer
And
grabbed a
that's the
nearby
scene that
dumbbell,
cost me the 5-star
approached the unsuspecting
on
Chihiro,
the previous test run through. Because I chose the bloody dumbbell, but that was not the right manga panel for that.
Oh,
And
yeah, it wouldn't
that's
be
where
bloody
the
yet.
bloodstains on the
Yeah,
poster
it's
and
pre-murder.
carpeting in the boys' locker room came from.
Looking back on it, I can realize that. It's just like, in this moment, it was like, oh, murder weapon, click. Not thinking about it.
Yeah.
It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster.
Hup.
And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary
mysteriously
to get
dripped
into
no
the
blood.
locker room, of course.
Don't
But
ask
this
questions.
alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch.
Or not.
Because that would be stupid.
That could have been the end of things, but no.
On the other side of the room, Kyoko, no one's calling it that.
Decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
Because he's an asshole.
So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Orada?
And the best part of any trial, the crazy face.
Yep.
Wait. No. This can't be right. Where's your evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
I mean, we've already revealed the evidence that we can bring forth to prove that it's who he is.
Yeah.
Or to prove that Mondo is the killer.
Yep.
No, we are not going to explain this mechanic. So, we're not actually going to have to do our shouty battle against Mondo. We're going to have to do it against his bro here.
Show me some evidence.
So, right now, what we can do is, if we hit space, we can go into fever time, which means we don't have to follow the rhythm. We can just do any combination of left and right. But our enemy gets a new ability as well, and he's probably going to trigger sometime. Yep. He gets the ability to go into negative time. And his bar is much longer than ours is.
Show me some evidence.
Negative time.
He hides the tempo bar from us.
I refuse to vote. I refuse.
Yeah,
so
the bar is currently just showing negative. We don't actually get to see
I won't listen.
What we're supposed to hit.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Show me some evidence.
This should prove it.
I used the bullet too quick to show, but Broken E Handbook was the bullet we used for that.
If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it.
And yes, Byakuya is just very stupid.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is correct, Bestie.
We got an A.
We got an A. Yeah. We did not get a perfect score because I did lose a little bit of heart on the bullet time battle. But we still got 116 medals.
Yep. Kind of hard
Which,
not
again,
to.
has that 10% increase due to...
Bro.
Yeah.
Celeste.
What are you saying?
It's okay. On the first trial, I already got all the achievements for getting perfect trial and trial without using concentration and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Bograt, I don't know if you were going to go into this or not, but just in case, let's save talking about the execution for after the execution.
Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
We got it right!
Interesting part of the trial for them to decide not to voice act.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And yes, Kiyotaka, even in the face of all that, voted against, or voted not guilty for Mondo.
Hey, bros before dead bros.
Sorry.
I guess.
What is this?
Now then. Actually...
That's how I found out about Control to Fast Forward.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Monokuma knows he's a character in the game.
Oh yes, Monokuma absolutely
Yes.
knows he's a character in the game.
I think we're going a little strong on the yellow bolding on words here. You're not Frank Miller, Monokuma.
No, it's not every other word that's being emphasized.
Yeah, so basically, Chihiro was always weak, but didn't feel like he could do anything to be stronger, and so decided to basically present as a girl because nobody expects a girl to be strong.
Weak, 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 weak.
Hey, what?
I'm sorry. But...
The thing Monokuma
That's
hates
right.
above all other things.
I want
Hope.
to change.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
And a bit of a mislabel there on the nameplate for the dialogue box.
Yeah, it happens occasionally.
Yep. It's a minor thing.
Correct. Indeed. Certainly.
Certainly. Text. No.
But
because
That's a face.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, we haven't seen Kiyotaka's crazy face yet.
I knew it.
What is this?
The secret that he was once in a boy band.
You're wrong.
Don't make me repeat myself.
No, it probably would have still been a boy band all about, like, singing about fighting people and punching people. Mondo's boy band would have done Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town.
Fair enough.
Hey,
Yeah, no, his is a little more dire than most other people's.
Yeah.
Well, we don't actually know that because we have now learned all the secrets we actually know for certain. No, unlike the Motive 1, where we know what almost everybody's DVD showed, we only actually know these 4 as far as the embarrassing secret. We know Makoto wet his bed until he was in the 5th grade. We know that Toko is Genocider Jack. We know that Chihiro is actually a boy. And we know that Mondo killed his brother Daya. We actually do not know what anybody else's Motive 2 is.
Starry-eyed kid brother.
Also, it's a little inaccurate to say that Mondo killed Daya, but you'll see.
Yeah. Everything was peaches and gravy.
This is actually kind of a weird translation thing, because in the Japanese, the text is a little bit closer to was responsible for his brother's death, not killed him.
Makes sense.
I just... Don't fuck with me.
He was floating into another world.
Yep.
No.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten Bancho Isekai yet.
We almost certainly have, but give me a minute.
I mean... It's not full isekai, technically, but Yu Yu Hakusho is at least halfway there.
That's true.
Yeah. Considering the looser and looser definitions for isekai, it probably counts, actually, at this point.
I just...
I like that he keeps referring to himself as hateful.
Of course.
So I'm not actually having much luck finding examples of an actual Bancho being isekai, although it has reminded me of the really bizarre alt-universe take on the Kenka Bancho games. Because there is a, I don't know if it was a game, but I know at least there's an anime of Kenka Bancho Otome. Which is like an Otome game that is a spin-off of the Kenkabancho games.
I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, no, it's a Otome game on the Vita. And there is a current or fairly recent anime of it as well.
But I want to change.
You piece of... What? What?
Huh?
What? What?
No!
Not kill him.
What's wrong?
Damn you!
I just wanted to...
Yeah, that's right. You son of a bitch!
And the ultimate irony, Chihiro was the way stronger one of the two. At least in all the ways that counted.
Yeah.
I killed him. I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
They had his voice actor do so many takes of mad cackling.
Mm-hmm.
I choose to believe they couldn't stop him from doing it.
You start doing his lines and then just start cackling for no reason. They just kept recording. Like, no, this is gold. Get it, get it, get it.
Yep.
Alright. I will talk about this execution after the execution because we need to talk about it. Because I, like Monokuma, revel in despair.
Ridiculous.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment. Let's give it everything we've got. It's
I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
I also want a giant novelty red button that I can hit with a hammer. I just want it to, like, turn on my porch light or something. Go through all that pageantry for something completely innocuous.
That sure says something.
You're not getting a translation for that because that's racist.
Oh boy.
The gate of death. Thank you, Monokuma.
What?
The Mondo butter.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off auto for a second here. So...
Are you guys at all familiar with the actual story of Little Black Sambo?
I wasn't even gonna say the name of it.
Nope.
That's what's written in Japanese on the back of the motorcycle, by the way.
That's because the actual story of Little Black Sambo, as horrible and racist as it is actually a story about a poor African boy who tricks two tigers into running around a tree so fast he turns into butter, which he and his family used to make pancakes.
Do you ever wonder why I'm not willing to give the writers of Danganronpa any credit? That's the reason.
Fair enough.
Yeah. From a conceptual level, it's a cool execution. It's just unfortunate that it's a reference to something terrible.
Oh, this also leads into talking about Mondo's underwear.
Yes.
Mondo wears tiger print boxer briefs because he saw them in a store one day and was drawn to them. The only way that makes sense is if you know what horrible racist story his execution is based off of. Also, yes, we've turned a man into butter. I also headcanon that at some point Mondo slips a tub of Mondo butter into, like, circulation with the rest of the butter in our supplies. Because he's that kind of petty asshole.
Yep.
Sakura's, like, buttering a bagel. Looks down. Shit. Throws the bagel away. That's disgusting.
Yep, only one of our friends is dead.
Naturally.
Not what we're at now. 5?
We are at 5 total, yes.
However,
I mean, a couple of them died pretty early. I'd say acquaintance more and less friend. They could have been friends if they lived long enough.
To be fair, we really have no idea how much time has passed since the last one. It could be 2 or 3 days. It could have been a week.
Honestly.
The implication is that it is a little time has passed, but not a whole ton of time, because Monokuma is impatient.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is nothing to be done.
Well,
That's right.
You know, it's not like all our lives were at stake or something, you know.
I see.
But
Thank you for saying the obvious. Okay, but you...
Byakuya, you saw how easily they were going to turn on Makoto in the first, like, trial. They would have killed you. And killed themselves in the process, but they would have killed you.
Yep.
Interesting.
I'm not sure Kyoko could have pulled your ass out of the fire.
Indeed. Hey,
What's this?
you. What?
Damn.
Damn.
What the heck? Damn it!
Shut up, rich kid.
Ooh, how exciting!
That's enough.
Okay, so we got through the trial quicker than I thought we would.
Yeah, like I said last time when we were talking about it, like, the trials are not nearly as long as you think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the name
They
of my
feel
family.
longer because they're the most active part of gameplay, but...
There's still a couple hours, but yeah.
You're getting all riled up.
Blind puppies.
Well, anyway, like I was saying...
Meanwhile, in the mono layer.
Good spot. Yeah, a real really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. There's nothing we can do about it now, so just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see. As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away! Ooh, my, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but... Super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied! Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
Chapter
So
2.
So a lot to unpack from that cutscene.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But the primary points are, one, somebody among the group is a plant that Monokuma has there to kind of force things. And two, there was, in fact, a 16th, or is a 16th student.
Yep.
It was not just a weird coincidence that there was an extra chair in the trial room.
Not that we believed there was a coincidence, but still.
I mean, that's what they passed it off as.
I shouldn't cry, but
Also, I forgot about this scene. Nothing much I can do about it.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore. Getting out of here anytime soon. It's impossible. I can't let myself think about how much I want to get out of here. If I keep thinking like that, I might decide to.
Donuts. I might decide to donuts.
Okay. Huh? But
And so, like many of the captains in the Flower Division, her body is being drawn towards the bathhouse.
Stand tall, Galactic Hero.
I did not like that picture whatsoever.
I enjoyed the in-action shot of Sakura,
Fair enough.
who was apparently trying to kick Hifumi, which I wholeheartedly approve of.
Yes, I'm upset that he seemed to have dodged.
oh,
Too many donuts.
so then.
How about that? Impossible.
He's the zombie now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taka's kind of broken, right?
Well... it's like...
Well,
I mean, aside from the fact that a dual-colored bear seems to be intent on us killing each other.
huh?
Here we go.
Oh God, he's lost it.
There is nothing to be done.
You know?
In fairness, he never had it.
Yeah. That marble bag has been empty for a long time.
I'm right, right?
Perhaps.
Yeah, some new areas have unlocked.
Well then.
You called for me and so I appeared.
So, an important thing to note. The game makes a very clear distinction, both in story and in gameplay, between Toko and Genocide Jill. Genocide Jill has her own skills that we can learn.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And has her own likes. She is who I was referring to when I was calling out spoiler alert in the last time we were going through the presents. Yes, she does have her own likes and loves separate from Toko's.
It seems that a ferocious badger has gotten into the donuts and eaten all of them. I can imagine no human hand that does this.
Do what she must. She's already won.
Yeah. Well, the bright side, we know who she's going to kill. On the downside, it's not Hifumi.
You operate on a weird assumption that Genocide Jack is going to actually kill anybody in this game.
Actually, I'm assuming she's not going to kill anyone in this game.
Yeah, it's a bit too obvious.
Yeah, there's no pretty boys for her to string up.
That's true. The only pretty boy that she would have gone after, she thought was a girl.
Yep.
Toko, on the other hand.
No, I don't think Toko would murder anyone either.
I mean, currently no, but...
we might be able to hit the Mono machine.
Yes, we are going to stop on the way to the Mono, or on the way to the third floor. We'll stop at the Mono machine.
I don't know if it will let us right now or not, if it'll force us to go investigate, but...
Nope.
Oh, we can go to the store. Cool.
Woo! Alright.
Mono machine time. So we have a whole pile more of mono coins, burning a whole pocket now.
Yep. Hoodie.
Yep. What was the number?
Actually, sounds pretty good.
What was the number that we're thinking that we start doing multiples on? It was like till like 50% or something.
I mean, whenever you feel like it, really.
Yeah. We're already sitting on a decent pile of items, so I think I'm gonna get down to like 20% on each. That's a new one.
That's the rations.
Ah.
That's the drill.
Yep.
Those are slippers of some kind.
They have wheels on them.
The worst.
Yeah, they are basically slipper heelys.
Mm. Great for bathrooms, especially after a shower.
Was that a Yata loincloth?
I mean, it was a leaf covering. But yeah.
Creepy doll!
Creepy doll.
Alright.
I guess is Celeste on that one?
For what?
The creepy doll?
Yeah, Celeste and Toko actually both love that doll.
Okay.
Instead of canned and vacuum-sealed foodstuffs, the taste isn't bad, and certain snakes that enjoy hide-and-go-seek are just crazy about it.
So that one is loved by Junko and liked by Chihiro.
Aww. That was, by the way, one of the reasons I was pushing for Chihiro is I knew his life was limited. At this point, I know of one more victim and nothing more.
Yep.
I do not know how the case plays out past that.
So those roller slippers, by the way, are loved by Mondo, liked by Chihiro and Leon.
Oh wow, so no one we have left?
Yeah, they'll get fixed soon.
The leaf covering here is liked by Chihiro, Genocide Jack, Hiro, and Taka. Nobody loves it. Also, it is important to note that you can actually go back in this game, essentially, and do the free times of previous chapters in order to get the skills and upgrades off of characters that have already died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we went over that. I just... Not how that unlocks or anything, but...
It's just an option that's available now.
Yeah, it's
okay.
not an unlock, it's just literally, you can just go back and replay chapters you've been through. Yeah, so this antique doll here, Celeste and Toko love it. Byakuya, Hifumi, Kyoko, Sakura, and Sayaka all like it. We already.
Oh, we already had that one. No, we just got that
No,
one.
the
We only have
perfect
one.
We
Yeah, yeah.
just got that one? Okay.
Yeah.
It's an out-of-place artifact, so Byakuya loves it. Hiro also loves that, and Chihiro likes it.
It's just a dinosaur costume.
Yeah, so nobody loves it. Chihiro and Hina both like it. And there's Crazy Diamond, the one there.
Yeah,
the red costume and green costume, by the way, are references to like a kids show or like a it's called Konkiki series. It's a Japanese variety show for children.
Yeah.
And the green costume and red costume are costumes worn by like the lead actors in the show or something like that. They are basically just Kigurumi stuff.
The nurse's office is open.
If I recall correctly, it's like a dinosaur and an oni.
This will be helpful if anyone ever gets hurt.
Yep.
You know, and not just dead. I'm glad that a normal trash can caught our attention.
Thank you, Makoto, for both highlighting that with your detective vision and not caring about it. Fridge. Found some mono coins in the fridge with the drugs.
Nice.
You walk up holding a marijuana joint. Guys, you're not gonna believe what I found.
Turns out the school was really well equipped to deal with any teenagers that had glaucoma.
I can feel my worries just flowing away. Monokuma up in his office.
Damn! I knew I should have taken those out!
Oh well, they'll just spare enough when they run out. Not running a friggin' dispensary here.
It's actually all that the gardening club grew.
Yeah.
Super high school level pot farmers.
So,
right,
There's nothing but hydroponic.
Did we actually go into the classroom on this floor?
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah, when you get a chance, you go check it out.
Yeah.
Each of the classrooms in this game are actually unique.
Whee! These are just hanging. These lights aren't attached to anything. These are ghosts. Fantastic.
Okay, that is amazing.
Yep, hyper-realistic Monokuma over here.
Yep.
Nothing to look at here except for camera, windows, and that, just like the other one. But the board messages are interesting in most of the classrooms.
Yeah, there's like I said, so each classroom is unique, has different stuff on the board, and most of them don't really have anything to look at or interact with. There is, however, one classroom that is actually specifically quite unique.
The baby is sleeping. Please be quiet.
Weirdo Monokuma. Okay, third floor. Check these classrooms first. Getting tired of this. He's got the soul of an artist, that Monokuma.
No, hi Sakura.
Yep.
You can see in the background there, the Despair Squadron Monokuma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end,
This was intended to be a joke and certainly has no bearing on things that appear in later games. So it turns out that as new areas have been unlocked, Sakura has been going around literally trying to pull every single metal plate off the walls.
That's reasonable if you don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
The rec room.
Let's see.
Hopeful Peak.
Yeah, it's just a translation thing.
Even a dartboard. Yeah, because giving kids darts, that's a great idea.
It's fine. Just make sure they don't have tips.
Wonderful.
I mean, they do. Do you really think Monokuma cares if somebody kills somebody else with a dart?
It's really hard, actually.
I mean, that all depends. If you were some sort of super high school level darts player, you could probably nail somebody in the jugular.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident there isn't one of those here, and you'd probably be better off grabbing a chair and hitting them with it.
Never doubt what a super high school level blank can do. Wait, are you Jackie Chan? Yeah, I'm a super high school level Jackie Chan. I don't want no trouble.
Also, you don't know. We know there's a 16th student. They totally might be a super high school level darts player.
Yeah.
Also, strictly speaking, since darts is technically a sport, Hina is probably really good at it.
True.
Yeah, that's true. Hers is generic.
Well, specifically, they call her out as super high school level swimmer, but it is intended to be more just along the lines that she's really high athleticism.
Yeah.
So, while you're talking, there was an interesting thing with Monokuma's comments. So, like, there's a bunch of magazines, but apparently there's trouble getting new issues?
Yeah, according to him, all of the stuff here is out of date.
Huh.
Monokuma's in a bottle.
That's how Monokumas are grown, you know.
I'd say it's gonna be really hard to play pool with flat cue sticks.
There is nothing to be done.
Alright, that's all we're doing here in the rec room. Next up. Oh. Thank you, Yoko.
Next up, the room that Snake is hiding in.
Well, to get there, you have to go through the art room.
You fool, he's secretly in the rafters.
Well, you see, if you put a banana on it and turn it on.
If you drop a piece of cheese in it, it'll recharge your wand. Allow you to do battle with the evil wizard Mananan.
I don't get any of these references.
But how? Alright, so I need to make some porridge that tastes like cat.
Doesn't taste like cat. It very specifically doesn't taste like cat. Otherwise, you wouldn't have eaten all of it.
Yeah. He had to eat the whole cat.
It just happens to have a cat hair cookie in it.
How else do you get rid of a naughty wizard?
I don't want to know the answer to this question.
Specifically as an aspect of his role as the super high school level, like, doujin artist, etc. He makes a ton of garage kits.
Pumpkinhead.
So these are all various references. I'm not really going to break down all of those.
Suffice to say, he's referencing real people.
Yes.
You know nothing. Yes, indeed.
Give me a second to look up the specifics, and I'll bring it up, because these ones I don't remember off the top of my head.
Very art roomish.
Plebeian.
And of course.
Of course.
So it's funny Makoto says this, because the entire point of the alternate game that we unlock by beating the game is a perfectly normal high school life where we recreate statues of Monokuma and his various alter egos.
Huh.
Yeah, so all of those names he brought up are just references to people that make garage kits, so it's not anything you'd recognize anyways.
Yeah. Somebody's drawn an upside-down Teletubby there below the TV.
Also a whole ton of Homespec characters.
Yeah. Alright, I'm heading to the back room here. Oh. Well, there's certainly not something suspicious in this room.
Yeah, I can't help but notice another array of, wait, what the?
Yeah, no, that dropped down while the scene was building itself. We will not dance around the issue and investigate the elephant in the room.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was noticing the row of hammers and how much like the row of knives. I'm sure one of those won't go missing.
Ominous.
Isn't that wonderful?
Now, why am I asking? This is Monokuma.
That's a good question.
Okay. Let's look at the hammers.
Yep, now it's just paintbrushes, there's chisels and files.
Yep. Alright.
all kinds of stuff you would basically expect to see from a sculpture room and painting room.
So now, take the roundabout way over here.
Yeah, this floor is laid out like a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Physics! This is where we keep all the physics.
Door on the physics lab.
And there's the zombie.
There's talking.
There's the cardboard cutout of Taka, or
You
as we like to
doing
affectionately know
alright,
it, Taka.
buddy? You doing good? You need a snack? Yeah, no, he's coming.
Hardly wait for him to snap.
Well, this is obviously for accessing the Akashic Field.
Watch out!
Don't touch that, whatever it is.
Quantum leaping!
Yes. Compared to staying here?
What was I gonna say? Wait, what?
The tragedy.
The tragedy, capitals.
That was so stupid, it knocked him out of its stupor.
Yes, the machine goes back in time. Doesn't take anything with it, though.
Yeah, time machine.
Wait, this time? Yes, but how long does it take to recharge? Because if it can only go back 1 minute, can you just use it repeatedly?
Hey, in other words,
Yeah, the problem on Mars isn't that the air is dirty so much.
you guys?
We have this delicious air.
The problems on Mars are several, actually.
Yeah.
Radiated soil, lower gravity. It's way the fuck over there.
That is indeed a problem.
Literally, by the time you get there using current technology, your bones would be basically glass.
Oh, so hey, we found some Monokuma coins in the machine. Okay, so you may have caught it when we were dropping around the room. Or when the room was dropping into place. There's also a
disposable
camera.
Yep.
Huh.
It's a Princess Piggles camera.
Of course it is.
Magical Demon Princess Piggles, I think is the full name of
Demon Princess.
Demon Princess, right.
Princess, yeah.
Right. Now to find a blender and Hifumi.
Alright, let's get a shit ton of Monokuma coins. Alright. And this enters the storeroom.
Strange chemical in there. Oh. Hi, Genocide Jill.
So if we were just ignore her, not acknowledge she was there.
I'm getting seriously excited!
Well, that would solve one problem. Her hair still defies gravity.
Yep. Her hair is so used to floating in the pool, it just floats by itself now. It expects it. If she walks into the physics room, it falls back down. Because that's where we keep all the
that's where
physics.
all the physics are stored.
Yeah.
It's like you do realize that, you know, people with stomach aches, that eventually goes away.
Hina.
Well...
Shut up, hamster.
Somebody throws an apple in that general direction, he chases it out of the room.
Sorry.
Bastard!
I'd listen to her. She's dating Kenshiro. She'll kill you. That's not a joke, by the way. She references her boyfriend, who's extremely good at martial arts, named Kenshiro. In the secondary mode. Specifically, in that alternate mode, as a matter of fact, it's generally accepted that the best rank of relationship that you can get to in that mode with any of the female characters implies that they want to date Makoto. Sakura's offer is she's going to take you to her next martial arts tournament, then publicly break up with Kenshiro there and declare her love for you. Which I'm assuming means Makoto immediately dies to blood explosion thereafter.
I was about to say.
Like, nice knowing you, Makoto.
Yeah, his spine rips out of his back and he explodes.
Yeah, exactly.
As you do.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Yep. Othello.
Othello.
Yes, yes.
Correct.
Okay. Hey, zombie boy, what you got?
He's just upset he didn't get into that water.
You SOB!
What? What?
No, 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 no!
Huh?
Well, this will be the easiest murder to figure out. Everyone, there's been a murder. It was genocide or jail. Well, shit. Okay, moving on.
So,
See, the real trick was that now that genocide or drill's motivation's been given everyone how to kill people, this is when you'd actually now do a kill and disguise it as a genocide or drill kill.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He used his trick
Steal
too
from the
early.
killers.
Well,
Yeah.
so then.
Headache medicine.
I see.
This is one of those scenes where you just have to talk to everyone in the scene.
Yep.
Anime characters. I found something with a weird anime character on it. This your brand of creepy?
Perhaps.
Why, it is!
You know? What the heck?
Well,
See, question.
You know nothing!
It's a bingo prize. Meaning it's cheap as shit. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Damnation!
Let's see.
However... What? This is unforgivable!
Alright, now we've heard what everyone else has to say.
So on that comment where it mentioned the fact of, I can't imagine that we would need to take pictures.
What?
I immediately come back to the idea of
Yeah,
for
them showing
evidence.
pictures of evidence. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Nope, everybody just has the ability to project images from their minds.
Why?
Well then.
Let's see. Well,
Monokuma only gets the weird spells. Like Piganose. Or Sweets. And occasionally, once per day, can cast Spears of Gungnir, but we're not worried about that.
Monokuma is really just a taxidermist and uses the top level of the skull as a panorama in order to set up shots like that one.
I wish we could figure out what 11037 meant.
Now you joke, but that is actually an important number later in the series. You know, in addition to being Leon upside down.
Yeah.
Text list. Well, Hifumi's continued breathing, but...
In your case, you're just really, really bad at lying.
They just pulled the same thing that Jotaro pulled in Chapter 3. Do you know cigarette smoke can kill a stand? What? Guy immediately puts out a cigarette. Is that true? No, but we found our idiot.
I see.
That's it. I'm sure of it.
just a second. But... Sorry. Well...
A spooky ghost.
Hey.
Ghost of Christmas Future.
What the heck?
Hina.
I have punched a ghost.
You have to punch really hard to affect ghosts, but I've done it.
I was left in the middle of a graveyard and had to fight some ghosts.
So,
Huh?
honestly. Sorry.
Hina.
But...
Say what?
Oh no!
Honestly.
Like zoink! Ghost!
He immediately tries to do the shaggy jump into Celeste's arms. Celeste just opens her arms, lets him fall.
Well
then.
What?
He just gets more and more Shaggy-like.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Hey.
There is nothing to be done.
So yeah, we haven't actually been able to go into the bathhouse before this. This is our first time seeing the room.
Come on.
Please.
Then you die?
Or go mad.
Not really much of a question.
Well,
You lack the necessary things to fight off Cthulhu, like bazookas or a boat.
That was weird.
Weird.
Ah, a ghost.
A siren ghost.
That's that laptop we found in the library.
Oh yeah.
Hey. So... It would seem...
The ghost put it there.
then
But
perhaps...
programming
Is
software
not
and hardware are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, after the bullshit we're about to see, I'm gonna give this entire thing a pass.
I mean, also, in fairness, even if you're a programmer, realistically, it's probably something pretty simple to actually fix. Just most of these people don't know what the fuck they're doing with computers.
I'm willing to bet it was something as simple as plugging the charger in.
I don't think it would be that simple, but it might literally just be something like, oh, you just need to do like a, discharge on the battery or something like that.
Hey, come on.
Hey, oi, it was a simple mistake anyone could have made. Hifumi, you're an asshole.
Very true.
Sit next to the trash can with your brethren.
What are you saying?
Hey, don't install trash cans like that.
You're right. I'm sorry, trash cans.
I do an important job in society.
You do,
Very
trash
true.
can.
At least I hold trash on the Kafumi.
Oh.
But
I mean, not wrong.
Wrong. Hey.
That's right, there's no guns in here pointing at us.
Close.
Yes, it's me.
Oh, right. I forgot those guns have surveillance cameras attached to them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Hey.
Wish granted.
Jiggle the mouse.
So then.
Hey, wake up!
Yasuhiro! What? Aren't things like voice activated now?
Hey.
Almost all the icons are on the far left.
That applies to more than one person here.
Makoto.
Coach, I don't assume you know how to launch a program, so I'll take care of this for you.
Yeah.
You really came.
Oh no!
Calm down.
What?
Anyway.
Why would you assume you can talk to it? Who are you, Yatsuhiro?
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Chihiro Fujisaki.
I knew it.
Surprised the laptop can run it.
So, yeah! Chihiro took a laptop that was busted, fixed it, and, you know, grew a super AI in it.
Sure, why not?
Ultimate programmer. See, we have a bad crop of ultimates in this one. This is the kind of horseshit that ultimates normally get up to.
Also, in fairness, it's implied that
It's
Alter Ego
true.
wasn't created on this laptop. Alter Ego is something Chihiro made prior to this, which earned him the title of super high school level hacker.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
In other
And
words,
just happened to have it, and then when they found the laptop, put Alter Ego on it.
Well, it's also called Quest World, but not by many people, and that just gets messy.
I see.
Are you okay with this?
Stop.
Okay, Sakura, I need you to go drown him. Everyone then says that the water did it. The water killed him. Thus, Monokuma will kill the water in the bath.
I love this response.
As if...
He's a guy and a computer program.
Anyway.
I don't see how either of those is a problem.
Master. Well... That's right.
To pass the butter. Specifically the Mondo butter. Yeah, it turns out the laptop has a number of files on it related to the school, but they're super encrypted. Super high school encrypted.
Like Monokuma's measurements.
I mean, nobody encrypts their grocery list.
It's gonna be real sad when they find that this laptop just belonged to the captain of the erotic fanfiction club.
Hifumi?
That's right.
I think he'd get kicked out of there.
I mean, no, remember, he's literally super famous as a doujin artist.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
This laptop can explode after all, just like all laptops.
That's much dumber.
Really? That's
You
the
have a
laptop
curve
gun from Perfect Dark?
Yes, indeed.
Turns into a little turret.
Yep.
Are you okay with this?
And that's not suspicious at all.
However,
Kyoko
You know,
voice of
like right
reason.
now.
Yep.
so then,
But
it's true. However,
Rather than screaming, couldn't you just, I don't know, turn off the monitor so it didn't look like you were on?
So, I just can't help but notice that her shirt underneath the jacket has a zipper.
Yeah.
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 Odd design.
Just a zip-up shirt.
Everyone's design here is odd.
Yeah. Actually, honestly, comparatively, she's rather tame.
Guest caller designer, Tetsuya Nomura.
Damn it, Nomura.
Also, what Kyoko said there is significantly more aggressive in the Japanese. In this, they decided to translate it as "I'm not as weak as you might think." In the Japanese, something she says comes closer. What she says comes a lot closer to, "I seriously doubt any of you could kill me if you tried."
You went away. Trip.
Go farm up north, where he'll be much happier.
He's just hanging around.
Okay then.
Okay then.
Also, this laptop has a microphone on it. I can hear everything you say.
Yeah.
Oh wait, does it?
No.
No, it just has a webcam.
That's why they have to keep typing to it.
Well, I'm aware like that they're typing to it, but I'm like, is that
I
gonna
mean,
be some kind of secret that's revealed later?
I mean, I would make an argument that given that it has a built-in webcam, it absolutely has a
Shall we
built-in
go?
microphone.
Yeah, but Alter Ego isn't programmed for voice interaction or voice activation.
That way, you can never know when people plot against it. Dirty AI.
That's how you prevent singularity. So you make a hyper-advanced AI that's capable of infinite learning, but you give it a weakness, like it goes inert whenever somebody talks about popcorn or some dumb shit.
Could it be?
How interesting. I just had popcorn.
It has to be this really obscure dumb shit too, so that the AI would never think to look for its own weakness.
And then you put it in charge of the life support, and hope no one ever talks about popcorn.
Well?
Indeed.
Yes, Kyoko, who has not been keeping any secrets from anyone whatsoever.
Of course.
Kyoko, who is in actuality a broom.
I mean, at the moment, Badger, we're between murders. There's nobody to be suspicious of for anything.
It's true.
I suspect Hifumi is guilty of being creepy as fuck, and therefore needs to die.
Other than, maybe being suspicious about who's the mastermind. But the game doesn't actually spend a whole lot of time focusing on the whole who's actually behind Monokuma mystery. Like, the characters don't seem to be super concerned with that most of the time.
I mean, it's not something they really have a good inroad to investigate.
Pretty much.
What's the matter? What the heck?
I was lured by happy children. Is Hifumi dead?
Not yet.
Ah, drat.
Look, we were having sex where you couldn't videotape it. That satisfy you? That can't be true. Hifumi was there. That would never happen.
Say what? Huh?
It makes sense that she's a good liar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh?
She is
An
the
ultimate gambler.
Super high
Yeah.
gambler.
Hey, come on.
Oh, damnation!
Wait. Well, I guess she's been showering, probably.
I mean, they all
God, I hope.
What we were talking about.
They have bathrooms with showers in them, so.
Yeah.
They're also
But
still
again,
trying to keep up the lie in front of Monokuma.
I know.
Also, it's if we're talking about, do you really think that dude's every day?
Well, he's not Toko.
He's not far.
Response is clearly, aren't you going to peek on them?
Without a doubt.
God damn it.
So, this is the split point for the optional scene that we could see if we had the proper item.
Hmm.
And yes, in this timeline, Makoto has, pride. Decency.
Yes, if you have the item called, I believe it is literally just called a man's fantasy.
Yes.
Makoto's like, hell yeah, we're gonna peep, and then you get like a single image and it just moves on.
Yes.
Like I say, is the single image Sakura's fist in your face?
No,
No.
unfortunately not.
Kind of depressing.
But I also didn't want to die when Sakura pile drives me into the tiles of the bathroom.
It's like...
Bullshit.
Like, to not sure I believe that would be bullshit.
No way.
He very well may actually just want to use them as reference for figurine creation.
Yeah.
He is absolutely the kind of person that would refer to something as 3D pig disgusting.
You got it.
Unironically.
Ugh.
This is fine.
Also, that bathhouse scene does reveal a minor spoiler.
Of course. So in the end...
It's Yen's like, of course.
Actually, because
My entire existence. Well now.
Nothing bad ever happens in the gym.
Your presents are guns. Just shoot each other already, for fuck's sake.
It would seem...
huh?
However, correct.
And we don't even have to walk there, we just immediately get warped. Oh, hello, you two. I hope you're being miserable with each other.
What?
Right foot, left foot, right foot. My name's Randy Newman, trapped here in the high school.
Be mildly more enjoyable than Byakuya. Okay, I like that reference.
Huh?
Thank you, Bats in Traffic.
Yep.
Randy brought his motorcycle.
That's an awfully specific curse.
That's actually a Japanese thing.
Well,
Apparently, winning the lotto is actually really bad luck
So then,
in their culture.
See, Monokuma's gonna try for the same thing, but the launcher's gonna be too powerful. It's gonna launch him into the rafters. Bare legs just waddling there.
You guys?
He sounded a little too much like Teddy there.
however,
We've broken twice, but the third time will be different.
Come on.
The whoosh of the wind.
Without further ado, I give you this! $10 million! I prepared this graduation present for whichever lucky student makes it out of here alive. What do you think? It's 10 million bucks! 10 million smackaroos! It's like totally wowie, wow, wow, am I right?
Wow, went for pure greed on this one.
I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't work on Byakuya, because that's like
it's true.
literally what he lines his bed with every night. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
He has a car that runs off of a furnace, and he shovels that much into it to go down the street.
of course.
Byakuya raises his hand, Yasuhiro moves over and puts his hand down.
Also, that much money is not really anything to Yasuhiro either.
Yeah. Yasuhiro is rich because he's been exploiting people for his fortune telling.
Also, it's highly unlikely that you would be, even if somehow you got away with this entire setup, you'd probably found out a murder at some point or another and not be able to spend it anyway, so it's not really that much of a temptation.
Nah, what happens in Hope Speak Academy is going to stay here.
They don't know that.
I mean, it's a pretty safe assumption.
No, it really isn't.
Who's going to find out, Vince?
You're relying on the word of a psychopathic bear. No, it's not a safe assumption.
Literally everyone else is going to be dead.
No,
There are people
the person who
outside the
set this
school.
up is not dead.
And judging from comments at the end of the last one, it sounds like people are watching this.
I'm telling you! You know nothing!
Yeah, there's nothing about this setup that would make me trust anything the bear says.
I mean, that's fine, but that still doesn't mean you're going to be found out for the murder that happened in here. And furthermore, you probably also wouldn't actually end up being found guilty of it because it was a duress situation, which also leads to a whole weird thing.
Yes and no. It's not a duress situation. If I specifically, it's weird and would actually be a pretty long trial in and of itself.
Also, they're minors, so that comes into play.
That part is true.
Will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited.
Actually impact.
Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night.
They are also close to adults, so they may well be tried as adults anyways.
Bye.
Well, no, but that would be brought in on the concept of duress.
Also, regardless, you would not be able to show your face anywhere.
Very true. But again, $10 million does cover plastic surgery.
It's fine, it's fine. We can worry
Not
about
much
this
of-
when and if
well.
they get out of this situation.
Yeah, I mean, again, very much. I'm not sure why you immediately assume you would be able to show your face anywhere.
Because-
Literally nobody's going to know what happens inside here.
You know?
I'm not sure why you assume no one's going to know what happened inside here.
How about that?
Because
Okay,
the game is
how do-
pretty much
Because the game is basically said that.
Yeah.
Again, back to trusting the psychopath.
It's fun, guys. Let's table the discussion for now.
Yeah.
As long as we agree that Vince is wrong.
As long as we agree that we're tabling the discussion.
As long as we agree that Bogred is a shitlord.
I mean,
Can
I
we
won't
just
deny
agree
that, but it doesn't say that you're wrong.
Can we just agree to disagree about disagreeing?
Nope.
No, we're too disagreeable for that.
Anyway. So this is probably actually going to be where we call it for the day, once we get back to actual play.
Yep.
It's different this time. I'm sure no one will try to kill each other over money.
Yeah, we've
That
had
has never
we've
been
had
a motive
two
in life for
slip-ups,
me.
but we can make it to our week chip, no problem. I have faith in this group.
Also, considering the other two setups, money is a really weak one in comparison.
Look, Monokuma's running out of ideas. What do you want?
Did somebody lose a baby?
I'll be honest, that one feels specifically targeted to one person in the group.
Oh, probably.
I mean, you're putting money on the line. You're gambling.
I mean,
And we've got
not
the
really
high
a-
school level gambler there.
That's not really a gamble. It's a payment.
Yeah.
Little hit and
I
run.
just think it feels a little close to it.
There's no game of chance involved. It is put a knife in somebody's eyeball, get $10 million.
Yeah.
And get away with it. That's the gamble. But yeah. There's that lint roller.
Yeah.
Still lying on the ground.
Morning, everyone. It is now 7 a.m. and nighttime is officially over. Time to rise and shine.
Look, Makoto's not worthy of picking up the lint roller. So just gonna sit there until someone is.
No one in this group is worthy of picking up that lint roller then.
Okay.
Except maybe Kyoko.
Save here. Alright, so that's what we're going to call it for today. Made a good amount of progress
Alright.
through. We are about, I want to say, a third of the way through Chapter 3. Or through the first part of Chapter 3, I should say.
Oh, okay.
Maybe half. So next time, we'll probably have enough time to both get through the remainder of daily life, the investigation, and probably the class trial. We'll see how it goes, though. So anyway, thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Join us on Tuesday when we'll be continuing our run-through of Earth Defense Force and defending the world from the giant aliens. And join us on Saturday when we continue to Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Until that time, I've been the Krampus.
I've been Bograt.
I've been Shiv.
I've been Hunter Green.
I've been Vincent, and I've been Vincent.
All right. Have a good one, y'all.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Later.